Hi, Jason Lamoureux with Coldwell Banker Commercial. If you missed the 2021 Real Estate Symposium, we recorded all of the sessions. I'm pleased to provide this session for Brightline West, which includes Greta Seidman and Adrienne Scher. Please enjoy. Good morning, Jason Lamoureux with Coldwell Banker Commercial, and welcome to our 8th annual Coldwell Banker Commercial Real Estate Symposium. We have a great lineup today we're excited about. First, we have Brightline West, questions and answers with Greta Seidman and Adrienne Scher. They'll be up in a couple minutes. But first, I want to thank our sponsors who made this possible. Casey Armstrong with Armstrong Fairway Insurance as our gold sponsor. Our silver sponsor, Enterprise Funding, the City of Hesperia, the City of Victorville, SCLA, thank you very much, Flagstar Bank, Mortgage Solutions Financial, and Shannon with Saddle Rock Reverse Mortgage. And I'd like to thank our bronze sponsors, Coldwell Kennedy and Porter, Citizens Business Bank, Desert Valley Hospital, and Desert Valley Medical Group. Thank you very much. And also our event sponsors, Coldwell Banker Commercial, Coldwell Banker Home Source, and Touchstone Escrow. Thank you very much. So I'd like to introduce our guests. We have Adrienne Scher and Greta Seidman. Greta Seidman is the Director of Public Affairs. Greta Seidman has more than 15 years of experience in integrated marketing, communications, public affairs, and brand strategy. Greta Seidman is responsible for public affairs activities for Brightline West, including public outreach, communications, and media relations. Adrienne Scher, EVP of Rail Infrastructure. Adrienne Scher is a 30-year transit veteran who previously worked at Brightline, Florida, where he oversaw engineering, construction, management, environmental work, and final delivery on their Miami, West Palm Beach, and Orlando segments. Adrienne Scher is responsible for overseeing the design and engineering of the rail system, maintenance depot, and related rail infrastructure of Brightline West. Welcome. Thank you for joining us today.
It's great to be here. Let's get started.
Yep, welcome. There we go. So how it is coming along? Of course, we're very excited here in the high desert, and I know you've been working hard on this. Maybe you can kind of give us an update of what's going on.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a couple of slides because we think a picture's worth 1,000 words on this one.
Absolutely.
So just to kind of bring everyone up to date, I know we had kind of an overview last year on kind of the project in general, but there's been a lot, no pun intended, in motion, and the conversation seems to keep building. So this, we're really excited and view 2021 as a real banner year for Brightline West and our team and what we're doing. So if it's okay, do we want to go through some of these or? Jump right in. All right. So just to kind of give you an update on Brightline, Florida, which is our first system, we've announced that we are expanding into the Orlando area. We are about halfway done with that extension project, and then continuing on our expansion efforts with new stations in Aventura, Boca Raton, and Port Miami. And last year, we're really excited. We signed a lease to build on site at Disney Springs. So, just kind of giving us a great foundational system, and Adrienne, who helped to really get the first Brightline system online. We are, really excited. Our system in Florida is, it's rearing, and, people are excited about the new extension projects. And, one of the key differentiators, I think, of the Brightline system is that we are heavily focused on the experience of our ride and making it a true hospitality, experience. So on board, you'll find free Wi-Fi and free Wi-Fi in our stations. Our stations are clean and bright. Our trains are going to have plenty of leg room and a really cheery, inviting atmosphere that really does translate into a hospitality experience like no other, and really helping to redefine train travel. And as you can see on these lead customer satisfaction scores, we rank among some of the big players in the customer service game, and that means quite a bit to us. So kind of just a basic timeline on kind of where we are and where we're going. So we acquired the project about 2 years ago and have been working diligently on extending the right-of-way. obtaining those key permits and some of the new sections that Adrian's going to talk about in just a minute. We also acquired our station land in the Apple Valley area. That's I-15 and Dale Evans Parkway, and that's going to be co-located with our operations and maintenance facility. And then in Las Vegas, our station is at the south end of the Las Vegas Strip. So last year, another big change you'll probably have noticed, we rebranded from Express West to Brightline West, kind of aligning more with that inaugural line in Florida, and also aligning more with our brand promise of embracing clean, sustainable travel practices, technology, and good business. But we did know that we wanted to extend the line from our original terminus in the Victor Valley area. And I said, Adrian's going to speak about that in just a few minutes. Really, really excited about all of this. And we know the big question on everyone's mind is the when, right? So we are working towards a construction start later this year, and we'll be continuing to pursue extension projects as we move forward. So, and as those schedules develop, there's going to be plenty of ways to keep in touch with us and kind of get the latest updates, and we'll go into that in a little bit too. And then from our construction start, we're looking at about a 3-year timeline. And something we're particularly proud of is our economic impact to local communities. On the employment side, it's about 40,000 construction jobs and about 1,000 permanent jobs, including those in that operations and maintenance facility I mentioned. Economic impact of about $9 billion and $1 billion in tax revenue. And I mentioned that Brightline is really committed to clean, sustainable ways of travel and really redefining what that looks like. Our trains are going to take about 400,000 tons of CO2 off the road annually, reducing about 3 million car rides, and which translates to about a little over 11 million one-way rides upon stabilization. And that brand promise of green and clean extends into our stations, where we meet or exceed LEED certification standards. We use sustainably sourced products, so it really is part of our brand. The trains are going to go up to 200 miles an hour and complete that Victor Valley to Vegas route in about 85 minutes, so about half the time of driving, depending on when you leave. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Adrian to go a little bit more into kind of what we're doing with our route and our stations a little bit.
All right, thanks, Greta, and good morning. And just to build on one point of Greta starting with talking about our Florida project, even though it's the other side of the country, why we like to start with that is I see we got well over 100 participants today. I am sure plenty of you have been, oh yeah, I've been hearing about this project for the last 20 years. Well, the difference with us is we are the only private intercity passenger service in the country that is actually up and running. So we've been there, we've done that, we've got brick and mortar to support our vision, and we're gonna get it done. So with that, just a little bit of a deeper dive into the project itself. So I'll speak first to the green part of the map, which is the part that, as Greta said, we're looking to break ground on by the end of the year. This is a fully dedicated high-speed rail corridor running 180 miles an hour. This is similar to systems you see in other parts of the world that we're way overdue in this country to have running and having experienced what first-class world train travel is all about, with a great customer experience, as Greta noted, being a key attribute that our company, as a private company, will be looking to service to our riders. What we have been looking at in more recent times are extensions to our system. And there are two. First is from Victor Valley, technically Apple Valley is where our station will be, down to Rancho Cucamonga, which is about a 50-mile ride. That's being done in partnership with San Bernardino County Transportation Authority and Caltrans. So staying on the I-15 corridor, similar to our first project. And this will also include a commuter opportunity from the high desert, likely in Hesperia, where we're looking to put a station there for commuters, many of whom go from high desert into the LA basin daily. So we're excited about that as well. And then we're also partnering with a high desert corridor. So that's the orange line, and that is not a project that is being led by us, but we are very keenly partnering with to connect to us as they develop that high-speed project over to Palmdale. Since the segment from Apple Valley to Las Vegas is the first one we're going to build, I just want to give you a little bit of more detail on how that alignment will work. The project starts at the interchange between Dell Evans and I-15. And as I'll show you in a couple of slides, we've got a 300-acre site that we've purchased on the east side of the road. That's where, I know this is a real estate audience, that's where the real estate play comes into play, is on the stations. So that is where we will have our maintenance facility, our station, and will also be the headquarters for where we will have all our equipment to maintain the corridor. So that's why we need such a large site. From there, if you see the yellow line, we will come out on the side of I-15. So we'll be on the east side of I-15, running next to I-15. And then just south of Barstow, near the outlet center, we will go into the median of the highway, and that's what's shown in green. So through the city of Barstow, we'll actually be 60 feet up in the air on an elevated viaduct. And then past the city of Barstow, we come back down to ground, and we stay in the middle of the highway all the way through, next slides, Greta, all the way through Baker, and then into the Mountain Pass area on the right hand of the screen, coming into the state of Nevada, where we jump out on the side of the highway again, and then have one short segment before we get into the city of Las Vegas, where we're in the middle of the highway, but the remainder of the corridor, we're on the east side of I-15 and end at the pink dot, which is our Las Vegas station, which I'll show you in a minute. So 170 miles from one end to the other, all contained within the I-15 right-of-way, which is what has allowed us to partner with Caltrans and the two state transportation agencies to get this project shovel ready so that we can go into the ground later this year. Talk briefly about the stations. This is a very preliminary layout of our station area in the Apple Valley site, which is, as I noted, 300 acres. So the space we need for this, for all the train facilities and the station and the maintenance facility, is about 75 to 80 acres, and the remainder of it is developable land as well as parking that we'll need for that site. And then in Las Vegas, similarly, we have purchased a 110-acre site. This has got a Las Vegas Boulevard address on the right-hand side of the screen. We're about a mile south of the airport, but we believe in an absolute ideal location to partner with local transportation, whether it be hotel shuttles or rideshare that would come in and pick up passengers. And just really excited about the opportunities that this site presents for us as well. Also with plenty of opportunity for development on site. And then finally, we've got this vision of the station down in Rancho Cucamonga. This is really exciting, and me as a transportation person to see something that has not been done anywhere else in the world, which is you've got a potential here of having high-speed rail come in. We will connect to the Metrolink system, so which will allow you to have a connection to LA Union Station. But this is also the same site where some of you may have heard the Boring Company is planning this extension from Ontario Airport. It's just a roughly 3-mile long run so Elon Musk's Boring Company looking to connect into this site as well. So you could have all these different modes of transportation come together in just the next few years. So we're super excited about it, and I think that's all for me. I'm gonna turn it back to Greta.
Yeah, so the final update I think we have on really what we've been working on the last year is also we've been building out our outreach infrastructure. So we have a dedicated construction website, brightlinewestconstruction.com. And that's where we'll be posting all of our construction updates, schedule, everything as it gets updated. It's kind of your one-stop shop. And there's also a place there to sign up for email updates, which we're going to be launching shortly. We also have a dedicated outreach hotline, which is the number on the screen, and then a dedicated outreach inbox. And we have fielded every question from what kind of rail ties we'll be using to whether or not we're going to be having themed Elvis trains on occasion. So we see it all and really embrace folks reaching out and asking questions and wanting to learn more about the project. We love it and look forward to a great year. So that's kind of our updates in a nutshell.
Great. Thank you for the update. We do have some questions that have been submitted to us. You guys experienced some big challenges in the project since you acquired it, and how did they impact your project? And do you see any more issues moving forward?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and take that. So actually, as these big projects go, they tend to be controversial. Ours has been the opposite. We have had nothing but tremendous support for the project, and really don't envision any big controversy in terms of us being able to break ground. As Greta noted, we're a huge job creator. We're a private company. So it's really hard to argue we're green. So it's really hard to argue. And for those who are always looking for finding a flaw, it's pretty difficult with our project. So we're actually pretty proud and excited about what we're doing as a private company and investing in this mode of transportation. And therefore, we've had the benefit of really not having much controversy at all as we're moving this forward.
Good. And a couple other questions actually you jumped on already. Of course, the number one question we had was when. Everyone's very anxious. The other question is, what do you expect ridership to be?
Sure. So our addressable market for this route is about 50 million one-way trips. So at full stabilization, we are anticipating a little over 11 million riders or one-way trips a year. So taking a good chunk of that and giving people a great way to get between Southern California and Vegas.
That's great. A couple other questions that I'm going to combine into one is, what does the experience look like? Now, you did cover that you've fielded questions. Are you going to have an Elvis impersonator on board? But the accommodations, the experience, and also the time, roughly Apple Valley to Las Vegas.
Sure. I can tell you, so Apple Valley, Las Vegas is about 85 minutes. So enough to grab a drink and a snack on board, get some work done. And I think, Adrian can speak, since he really was one of the foundational people to get the Florida line up and running. He can speak to kind of the experience that we're.
Yeah, so the experience, it's really hard to put into words. We'd love everybody to come in and experience it in person. Next vacation, go to Miami and you'll see it. But you walk into our station in Miami and it is walking into a lobby of a luxury hotel. That's what it feels like. And that is the antithesis of what you think about with rail travel in the US and the history that it's been. So it's really that kind of sets the mark. And then from these awesome, beautiful, comfortable and well-smelling stations, again, feels you get that scent that you walk into a luxury hotel. You have that when you walk into our stations, and then you board a train, which is like boarding first class on any airplane, and just being immediately tended to, and sitting in a comfortable chair, having Wi-Fi that is supreme Wi-Fi, way better experience than in an airplane, and being able to just relax, have a drink if you want to have a drink, just experience a really comfortable, and when the windows, or every seat is planned such that there's you have a great view. It's just an awesome experience from one end to the other. But hard to do it justice with words. I'm trying to paint a picture, but come on down to Miami and try it, and come here and try it in the next few years between Las Vegas and Southern California.
And one thing I'll add on
have some of the riders taking advantage of the bar service from Apple Valley to Las Vegas.
We're counting on it.
Kind of switching gears, we've got some questions coming up, and interestingly, they're related to financing and the bond issuance. Brightline, unlike previous projects, the high-speed rail has been talked about. I pulled up a news article from 1984 when they originally thought about having the station in Barstow, California. So it's been talked about, but Brightline is the first one to actually make an investment into land, not just here, but also in Las Vegas. So there's already significant investment. What's the next stage? Any challenges with financing moving forward?
Yeah, I can speak to the financing piece just a little bit. We did go out to bond market last year, and it was I think as everyone remembers, late last year was a lot of uncertainty. Vaccines hadn't rolled out yet. There was a lot of uncertainty relating to the election and kind of just general economic uncertainty. So we opted to kind of reshuffle a bit. It was still very much business as usual around here. We have a team of about 30 and contractors, and we were plugging away, continuing to work on design and engineering. So we, very fortunately didn't really see a hiccup in the planning and operations piece of it. And with our expected construction start this year, we are expecting to go out and get that done and get this initial piece from Apple Valley to and Vegas, connecting Apple Valley and Vegas, put some shovels in the ground and give people a little bit more of a timeline as we get a little bit further down the year. But
one thing I'll add on to what Greta's saying, and you can see it even in headlines in the newspaper today, is the president's big infrastructure plan it helps us even as a private company, that boost of investment in infrastructure, and passenger rail being one of the key industries that's looked at to be for investment, absolutely helps our cause. Creates public support behind it, and we think it's going to help with our financing as well as investors look into where is the country going. That our system will be a great opportunity for people to see, yeah, government's behind this as well as the private sector. It's really going to help us.
Well, thank you. Unless you're a GameStop, 2020 was not the year for an IPO or a bond issuance. So thank you. Another question we just came in is, what kind of development do you anticipate in the Apple Valley area other than, I guess, surrounding your development? Obviously, we know about the rail yard, the maintenance, and the facilities, but from what I understand, you're also a development company, possibly retail. We've heard mention of a hotel. What kind of additional development do you see in addition to the rail?
Yeah, so I'll start and then turn it over. So part of our conversation with the state of California has been on the affordable housing front. So that is for sure part of the equation. We are still super early in planning for that site. We're just kicking off our station design, and to explain that in a minute, that the actual construction of the rail will take longer than it will to build and design the station. So we purposely have been focusing on getting my part of the work, which is getting the rail infrastructure advanced and designed, just because it takes longer to build. But so we're still in the pretty early stages of development, but coming attractions will be looking at how we can best take advantage of the very large site that we have. But to give you more specifics beyond that is just a little too early, other than there is a partnership on affordable housing that we've talked to the state about.
So there is a development component in addition to the rail, obviously.
Yeah. And I think if you look at what our station areas have done in Florida, with Miami, there's a housing component, there's commercial, there's retail, there's a food hall that I'm personally looking forward to checking out. So I think it's, it is very driven by needs in the community, and really developing and making these true transportation hubs. So it's a really exciting prospect.
Well, thank you. Two final questions. I know we're running a little on time, but I do have a question regarding how many jobs you anticipate generating in the Apple Valley, the high desert community. And then the second one, I probably haven't done projections on the price of a ticket, but I do have a question. Someone wants to know how much a round trip ticket would cost.
Sure. So on the round trip ticket cost, we are expecting it to be on par with the cost of gas and parking. So we've done some preliminary work on it, but it being 3 years out, we can definitely say we want it to be competitive with the cost of what you would pay to put a tank of gas in and park, and we will have different options for different ticketing, a different ticketing piece. So if you'd like to have some of those more all-inclusive bar hospitality offerings, that will, there'll definitely be different things you can add on. And
Drink
then,
package.
Yes, we love the all-inclusive. And I'm sorry, the first question was
jobs creation in
course.
the high desert community.
This is one of my favorite things to talk about. So, I mentioned 1,000 permanent jobs project-wide, and I think about 650 of those are anticipated to be in the Southern California area. So that includes, the operations, maintenance. So out of that operations and maintenance facility, we'll, not just be servicing and taking care of our trains, but that's also where we'll be maintaining all of our rail. So it's 170 miles on that initial, segment. So it's a big footprint. So there's also hospitality roles, guest service. I mean, anything that you would think about as part of kind of a station and a station ecosystem and that type of employment. So a lot of opportunities, and we're really looking forward to working with local communities and local education system and workforce development opportunities. As we move down the process. Really, really exciting.
Oh, great. Thank you. And I misled you. I do have one more question. I promise. No more after this. How many trips or departures from the high desert station do you anticipate daily?
Sure.
Doesn't have to be exact.
Yeah. So we're expecting to run trains every 45 minutes. So I think that's about 25
trips a day in each direction.
Wow.
Lots of options.
Lots of options. Well, thank you very much. If you have more questions for Brightline, go ahead and email them over to us and we'll get them over to Adrian and Greta. Greta, Adrian, thank you very much. Wonderful presentation. We look forward to more development and look forward to hearing from you next year.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you very much.